Welcome to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. And now, your host, Tim Johnson.
The Association for Career and Technical Education, ACTE, is the largest national association dedicated to the advancement of education that prepares youth and adults for careers. Its mission is to provide educational leadership in developing a competitive workforce. ACTE is holding its annual conference in New Orleans in November. 4,000 plus career and technical education professionals will descend on our state. We'll talk to ACTE Executive Director LeAnn Wilson about the conference and about advancements in career and technical education when we return on the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
The Louisiana Business and Industry Show will be back right after this.
Founded in 1984, BIC Alliance and its subsidiaries connect business and industry buyers and suppliers with one another for the betterment of all. BIC helps companies grow in 3 ways: aggressive sales and marketing campaigns in BIC Magazine, finding the right people through BIC Recruiting, and by merger and acquisition and related services through IVS Investment Banking. Contact BIC Alliance today.
The funny thing about Louisiana is that people don't often ask you why you moved home. They just accept it as the most natural thing in the world. Because of course I would want to move back home and be near my tribe, be in this beautiful landscape. It just inspires me. Whether it's a golden marshland, an expanse of sugarcane fields, a sunset through a cypress swamp, the outdoors here really are like nowhere else. You can start your day off paddling at Lake Martin, finish it off with music at the Blue Moon. I came home for my dream job, but also because I believe in Louisiana and where it's going. We're building a world-class Central Park in Louisiana, planned by the members of this community. And I just bought my dream home, a sustainable house designed and built by the architecture students here at the university. My electricity bill was $30 last month. The life I thought I would have in Austin is actually happening right here in Louisiana. I'm E.B. Brooks. I have the job I want in the place I love.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the soccer star to the soccer mom. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Consumers and property owners with a construction project can have a very successful result or a regretful experience that could have been avoided. Before beginning any construction project in Louisiana, verify licensure of the contractor and check references. Scammers may claim to be licensed or bonded, but you should ask for a copy of the license. For additional information, contact the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors or go to the website lslbc.louisiana.gov. Licensed and qualified contractors. It's the law.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show with Tim Johnson.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Very pleased to be joined by Ms. LeAnn Wilson, who is the Executive Director of the Association for Career and Technical Education, ACTE. LeAnn, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. Give us an overview. Tell us about ACTE, what you do, and specifically how you work to meet the needs of business and industry.
Well, ACTE is the largest national organization dedicated to the advancement of career and technical education, serving youth and adults into successful careers. We've identified there are approximately over 211,000 CTE professionals across the nation. And our role is to really build that bridge between those CTE professionals and the business and industry and employer community. And what makes career and technical education so important is the workforce and economic development benefits that it brings, because it really is, CTE really is the bridge between those two.
Well, and in Louisiana, and we're going to talk about this more as we go along today, but so many things taking place from an industrial development standpoint, job creation standpoint. Almost every day we pick up the newspaper here and we read about some new announcement of a company bringing jobs here. You and I have talked about this in the couple of days that you've been in Louisiana. IBM bringing jobs here, Sasol, petrochemical plants, Bentler Steel up in Shreveport, the information technology and gaming companies that are bringing different types of jobs here. And so it's been huge. And what we know in Louisiana specifically is about 85% of the jobs that will be available, the tier 1 and 2 jobs that will be available over the next 5 to 7 years, will require something more than high school, but something less than a 4-year college degree. Mm-hmm. And that's really where you guys are focused, isn't it?
That's exactly right. And we really believe that 4-year degrees aren't for everyone. And many times our CTE programs prepare students for a certificate, some type of certification, or also it does prepare them for college. So if they do decide to take something after high school, that's fine. And as you mentioned, the growth in the economy sector requiring a skilled workforce, a lot of the skills that are necessary, CTE fills that gap. So you have students participating in high school programs that allow them to go into successful careers right out of high school. And many times it's the case where they're able to earn college credit or some type of, again, post-secondary credential that enables them to have a successful career.
And it really is critically important to the economy, as you mentioned. You and I were having dinner with a group of people, and we'll talk a little more about this as we move on in the show, but last night, and this whole thought that, if you're living in South Louisiana in the middle of July and your air conditioning system goes out and a skilled air conditioning technician comes out to repair your unit, that individual's every bit as important to you probably as an accountant or maybe a lawyer, or in some cases even a doctor you may have been to. But because those individuals get their training at some place other than the 4-year university, we had created a culture in the United States that's beginning to change that says somehow we value them a little less. Harvard did a great study in 2011, Pathways to Prosperity, and they said, look, there are great pathways that exist that don't require a 4-year college degree, great pathways to great careers. Now, we never discourage anyone from going to the university, but that Harvard study really was a game changer in terms of our perception. What are your thoughts on that?
That's exactly right. I think vocational education still carries a stigma, but career and technical education has evolved tremendously over the years. And it really is the perfect blend of the employability skills, the technical skills needed, as well as the allowing for a path to a successful career. We talk about there's so many opportunities now, and students can choose multiple pathways. And it's the day we live in. And just with all of the advances in technology, you really want students to have the ability to have, build their technical skills and to be able to benefit the economy and the workforce by participating in that way.
And what we know is, and what the studies have proven to us, is that oftentimes these careers that stem from industry-based certifications or 2-year associate degrees, in terms of pay and satisfaction and benefits, are equal or in many cases better than careers that individuals find after 4-year degrees. Now, we mentioned this dinner last night. John White, State Superintendent of Education, Monty Sullivan, the President of the Louisiana Community and Technical College System, were both with us. And one of the things we talked about is while the humanities are critically important at any level of education, I want students to understand Shakespeare and to be able to write and speak correctly. But the bottom line is that education at all levels primarily exists to prepare individuals to participate successfully in the economy at whatever levels. And that's really the focus of the Association for Career and Technical Education, right?
That's exactly right. And what we're finding and hearing from the community is students are interested at younger and younger ages in that career exploration, and exposing them to career and technical education opportunities at an early age is just of tremendous benefit, not just to them as being a successful contributor to the success of the nation and the economy, but also personally, because it allows them, like you mentioned, there's so many examples where CTE programs have led to a significant income And in many cases where they do just have, a certificate or earned a credential from high school. So I think the stigma is that, perhaps, years ago, they might not have had the ability to be successful. But what we're seeing today, again, because of those technical skills and the employability skills and earlier career exploration opportunities, that CTE has really, taken over the spotlight, and especially with the economic development needs of this country. So there are so many areas where a skilled workforce is missing, and that's what CTE provides.
Well, it really has done wonders, and I've seen a great transformation, particularly in Louisiana. And as we talk about often on this show, there are so many great things happening from an economic development standpoint, and you've learned about Jumpstart. I want to come back and talk about that. We're visiting with LeAnn Wilson. She's the Executive Director of the Association for Career and Technical Education, and you're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show on Cox 4.
Louisiana Business and Industry Show will be back right after this.
BIC Media Solutions is a marketing and communication, media advisory, and event planning company within BIC Alliance. BIC Media Solutions offers custom book publishing, event planning, and keynote speaking to its clients in the business and industrial sector, and marketing partnerships to others in publishing. BIC Alliance is your business and industry connection. Contact BIC Alliance today.
What if I said that the American dream is alive and well, and that it exists for anyone willing to build it? That the power of a nation does not reside in its monuments, but in the hearts and minds of those who built them, and that the country's greatest heroes also wear hard hats. In today's America, it's not enough to dream about the future. You have to build it. Build your future at byf.org.
Consumers and property owners with a construction project can have a very successful result or a regretful experience that could have been avoided. Before beginning any construction project in Louisiana, verify licensure of the contractor and check references. Scammers may claim to be licensed or bonded, but you should ask for a copy of the license. For additional information, contact the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors or go to the website lslbc.louisiana.gov. Licensed and qualified contractors. It's the law.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show with Tim Johnson.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Our guest is LeAnn Wilson. She's the Executive Director of the Association for Career and Technical Education. Now, you guys are headquartered just outside of D.C., right?
That's right.
Staff of about 25 or so, work in all 50 states. You work with K-12 and secondary school, post-secondary schools. And so really involved in helping promote and support career and technical education professionals all across the country. We had, and mentioned in the first segment, we had a great dinner last night with John White, the State Superintendent of Education, and Monty Sullivan, the President of the Louisiana Community and Technical College System. And we talked about alignment in Louisiana. And we talked about how many good things are happening in our state from a career and technical education standpoint. The K-12 system working very closely with the community and technical college system, and all of them working very closely with business and industry. And there seems to be alignment. Jumpstart is a great new program that's been launched in our high schools to prepare our sophomores, juniors, and seniors for careers. What are your impressions of what you've heard and what you've seen over the last couple of days?
It's been quite impressive. I think it's a model that could be replicated across the country. It is, when you see the magic in that alignment, where you have the business and industry community so involved and the Department of Education involved, it's where the magic happens. And really, career and technical education is meant for that. Again, it's training that skilled workforce, the alignment to exactly what the business and industry needs are. And that way you can maximize the potential in the education area, again, so that if a company is hiring, they know that they have this appropriate certificate or educational background.
Those individuals are job ready coming out of high school.
They come out job ready. And one of the things we're very proud of about CTE is the fact that we include employability skills in with our CTE programs. So the employers do receive the well-rounded, well-educated, well-trained candidate.
Someone who can communicate, who can
That's
think,
right.
who can solve problems, who understands how to resolve conflict.
Right.
You know, when you talk about the employability skills, the soft skills, I'm always reminded of an HR professional consultant who told me years and years ago, Tim, think about the last 5 people that you know that got fired. How many of them were fired because they were technically incompetent or insufficient, as opposed to those who were fired because of the employability skills? They couldn't show up on time. They weren't dependable. They didn't know how to communicate, couldn't resolve conflict. And so the focus of career and technical education, or at least the element of career and technical education that places great focus on those employability skills, is something that the association promotes wholeheartedly, right?
Absolutely, and it really is integrated throughout our CTE programs, and again, both secondary and post-secondary. I think anyone would be impressed by our career and technical student organizations. Those CTE students just showcase and highlight all there is coming great out of our CTE programs. And you know, they can stand up in interviews next to, you know, college graduates or whatever other challenges there may be.
You and I have had this conversation on a number of occasions, LeAnn. You are great. The ACTE partners with other organizations like Skills USA, like the NCCER, the National Center for Construction Education and Research, and those partnerships help you deploy a lot of the best practices that you work with. And I know that if anyone's ever had the opportunity to attend a Skills USA conference when they bring 25 or 30,000 young people from across the country, and you listen to those young people, you understand clearly that a career and technical education system is doing good things, right? To talk about your relationship with Skills USA and NCCER.
Well, the business community looks at those partnerships, and they really say, we know we're going to get the best and the brightest by attending a Skills USA competition, and we're going to see who the top candidates are that have come out and done exceptionally well in learning those technical skills. And again, the well-rounded applicant that aligns perfectly with what they're looking for. So Skills USA, a wonderful partner. They just celebrated their 50-year anniversary, which I was very happy to attend. And again, just such support and backing from the business and industry community, because again, that just showcases the model CTE student and all that it brings. And with NCCER, it's the same. They attend the Skills USA competition. It's an opportunity, best and brightest. These students have been through CTE programs, very rigorous, very talented. The high quality CTE programs have just benefited these students to the point where they are very attractive future employees of these large companies. And that's what companies are looking for, because they know, hey, my work's already done. In many cases, they've already received specific training, perhaps on equipment that the businesses have dedicated to the school in order for them to be able to finish school, and then they can go right to work, and they already have all the training and the background needed to be successful.
The ability to have these young people career ready as soon as they come out of school is important. Now, we got about a minute left in this segment. We're going to come back and talk a lot about your big conference coming up in New Orleans. But President Obama has weighed in on career and technical education. He's even said, going to the point to say that maybe community colleges should be like high schools and be free of charge. Give us 30 seconds on your perspective about that.
Really, the community college system and the job training programs are just critical. And like I said, it had been a while, but we've come around to recognizing that need. And just the fact that our employers were struggling to find those skills in the applicants they were receiving. So it just makes everything a perfect, again, alignment, because you have those skills needed, and it's the big industries, advanced manufacturing, healthcare, IT, it's all there.
It's no longer on the back burner. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk about your big conference coming up in New Orleans. We're visiting with LeAnn Wilson. She's the Executive Director of Association for Career and Technical Education. You're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show on Cox 4.
The Louisiana Business and Industry Show will be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. Do you want a better life?
Get your associate's degree in occupational studies in information technology from ITI. In 2 years, you'll be on your way to a better life. You will get hands-on specialized training in computers, hardware and software, networking, and more. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available to those who qualify.
So don't wait. Call ITI now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
The funny thing about Louisiana is that people don't often ask you why you moved home. They just accept it as the most natural thing in the world. Because of course I would want to move back home and be near my tribe, be in this beautiful landscape. It just inspires me. Whether it's a golden marshland, an expanse of sugarcane fields, a sunset through a cypress swamp, the outdoors here really are like nowhere else. You can start your day off paddling at Lake Martin, finish it off with music at the Blue Moon. I came home for my dream job, but also because I believe in Louisiana and where it's going. We're building a world-class Central Park in Louisiana, planned by the members of this community. And I just bought my dream home, a sustainable house designed and built by the architecture students here at the university. My electricity bill was $30 last month. The life I thought I would have in Austin is actually happening right here in Louisiana. I'm E.B. Brooks. I have the job I want in the place I love.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. We're visiting with LeAnn Wilson. She's the Executive Director of the Association for Career and Technical Education, ACTE. You guys are bringing your big annual national conference to Louisiana, to the great city of New Orleans. You'll be here in November, so we got a lot of time to promote it. Tell us what your Vision Conference is all about, and more specifically, why businesses and specifically professional educators should get involved.
Well, we're very excited to be coming to New Orleans in November 19th through the 22nd. And we'll have about 300 program sessions. And we're bringing a lot of additional programming to our Vision Conference this year, which we're really excited about. We've doubled the amount of post-secondary sessions that we've had in the past. We've also aligned with the Career Clusters Institute, so they will now be included. And all the workshops and our trade show is rather large. And we have an awards program that is so exceptional, and where we really highlight the best of the best throughout the country in our CTE professionals.
And one of our goals, obviously, is to get more individuals involved in Louisiana with ACTE, because it provides great resources to those career and technical education professionals. Now, you guys have for a couple of years, and you will again in New Orleans in November, put great focus on the construction craft professionals, the construction trades. We do a lot of that training in Louisiana, as you know. You mentioned the NCCER in the previous segment, great partners in Louisiana. Talk a little bit about some of the things that will be going on specifically from a construction trade standpoint.
Well, we're very excited. I think this is the third year in a row the NCCER is going to host a Construction Career Pathways Conference, again aligning to our Vision event. And it's just a wonderful opportunity, especially here in Louisiana, because there's so many great examples of how well it's working. And especially as I traveled all of the construction going on here, and it's a really exciting time for the state. And again, we just see the level of activity and economic development going on, and you're going to need a competitive workforce, and definitely someone who can build all those buildings and all the development that's going on that I've seen over the last few days. So the NCCER programming is going to be something very special, especially given the fact that we're here in New Orleans, just with what's going on in the economy.
Well, those guys have been very heavily involved in our state and a lot of the things we do here. And in fact, they have done so much to help us that it always is good when we see them being heavily involved in a conference like yours. Now, you mentioned one of the things that you guys are promoting even more this year is the focus on the post-secondary. Oftentimes people think of career and technical education and they think of K through 12, but you guys are really putting this emphasis on drawing in more of the folks who may work in technical training programs at technical colleges, at community colleges. So give us a little bit more detail about how you're expanding that offering.
Well, over the past year during my travels, I was approached several times by community college folks, anybody in the post-secondary environment, and they said, we really don't have post-secondary CTE programming in our state. And it's really something that would benefit all of us, the post-secondary community. And so we put together an advisory group. It was about 10 individuals, and so what I did was basically if they came and asked me to do this, I said, okay, well now you have to serve on the advisory group, which they did, and I'm very grateful.
Be careful what you ask for,
That's
right?
exactly right. And so it was a great group, and like I said, our mission was really to double the amount of programming for post-secondary specifically. And again, just having that alignment with the State Directors Organization for the Career Clusters Institute is only furthering our ability to broaden our scope of CTE, to make sure that we have very comprehensive programming for all CTE professionals. And it really elevates the innovation in CTE and also the high quality aspect to our programs. So we couldn't be more thrilled.
I know Dr. Monty Sullivan and a number of his staff from the Louisiana Community and Technical College System will be there and will be participating. We've got about a minute left in the show, so 20 seconds on each of these. If I'm a career and tech ed professional out there, why should I, number one, get involved with ACTE, and why would it be important for me to attend the conference in November?
Well, I would say there's no better professional development opportunity on a national level. This is when people attend Vision, they come back and say, that's something I can carry back to my classroom. That's something that I can carry back to other CTE professionals that may not have had the opportunity to attend. And that exposure and the networking opportunities, we have stories upon stories about how that helped them as a CTE professional in the classroom. It made them a stronger teacher. It allowed them networking opportunities they wouldn't have gained otherwise.
10 seconds. If you want more information about the conference and about the Association for Career and Technical Education, what do they do?
Go to acteonline.org or careertechvision.com.
LeAnn Wilson, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much.
That's a wrap, guys. Thanks for joining us on the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.